Hello everyone, welcome back to the Pearl Atelier. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some 1970s vintage dresses as well as accessories. So I really have a very special place in my heart for this period in time because that was the time of my formative years between the ages of between 6 to 10 years of age. And that was the happiest time of my life because both of my parents were still around and it was such a magical time for me. So I'm starting with this one. This is actually sort of like a spandex sort of a material, and then the sleeve bit of the dress is sort of made up of like a gauze like tutu material that they use for like ballet costumes. And the dress itself, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, like lurex kind of a material with a gold finish to it, and it really reminds me of my mom's blouse here. This photograph was taken at the Shangri-La Hotel in Singapore. So this one kind of reminds me of that blouse of hers that she was wearing. You know that she always gave away all her clothing as soon as it is out of fashion because that was the trend of ladies then. So now I'm doing my utmost to try to find pieces that looked like hers. This was actually very large on me, so I brought it to my tailor and had it tapered down. I cut off the sides and lifted up the shoulders because it was a little bit too low on me as well. And then I'm wearing it together with this gold necklace. I'm not so sure if you can see it from the camera. I'll do a close-up of it. So this is made up of gold finish with a ribbon detail in front. So this is also very much from that time era. I remember going shopping with my mom at all the boutiques, and I remember buying this sort of a gold finish type of costume jewelry. I remember having one with 3 stars and a little bit of diamante in it. That was the sort of aesthetics it was from that time period. And then I have got this Monet sort of looking like a bakelite kind of a material. I'm not so sure if it's bakelite or not, and with some gold details on it in the shape of a chrysanthemum. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, is from the 1970s era. And I ordered this from Etsy from the United States, so it was quite pricey as well because we don't have this sort of a thing here. And I remember Monet was very famous amongst all of my girlfriends and I in the 1980s growing up, but I didn't know that it went as far back as the 1950s. So I'm learning a great deal about vintage accessories. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I ordered this on purpose because it is supposed to look like a chrysanthemum. It has all the open lattice work on it, and as you know, white or off-white is my all-time favorite color, so I thought I could match it together with this dress. So please stay with me till the end of the video because I've got some more fabulous 1970s vintage fashion. They are getting harder and harder to come by, genuine vintage pieces, and I'm very lucky to be able to get them. So for this next one, I'm featuring this ivory butterfly brooch. So I got this because it is from the 1970s and also because I love butterflies. If you have been following my channel, you will know that I collect anything to do with butterflies, and that's exactly why my channel's logo is also the butterfly. So I'm featuring also this cotton dress. It's very difficult to find cotton dress, especially from that time period, because they have quite a lot of lurex or polyester kind of a material. So this is extremely comfortable, and you can tell this is definitely from the 1970s because it has got all that paisley sort of print on it. It reminds me very much of the Liberty's print. This is made in Japan, so a lot of the vintage clothing that are coming in to my part of the world are from either Japan or from Korea. So this one, it has got some pleats and it even has got pockets on it. I just discovered this when I'm doing this video. I don't think you can actually find pockets in most of the modern clothing. Usually we will put in tissue or handkerchiefs in it, and sometimes we will forget to take it out and just send it for laundry, and then it's also inside there all bunched up. So, and it also keeps the hand really warm. I think it's also to do with cost, and people don't really bother to add it in because it's an extra cost and it's extra work to add it on. This dress also is around calf length. It is so comfortable and the print is just so beautiful that I can actually wear it nowadays. So this one has got sort of like a lace covering in front made up of black lace. But what I love about this dress is that it's made up of cotton. I think a lot of the 1970s prints really reminds me of the Liberty's print in terms of paisley, or this sort of a English countryside kind of a look to it. It has got some accordion pleat to the skirt bit of the dress. It's got an adjustable waistband where I can cinch it in further if I want to, but I'm just wearing it very loosely. I actually prefer clothing to be falling very loosely and falling very comfortably on the body. I think that's actually a little bit more flattering than if you were to cinch in everything and then you can see the excess fat jutting out. So I always prefer clothing to be a little bit more roomy so that it actually looks more elegant. My mom always taught me that. I'm also featuring this necklace which I got from my vintage store. I paid next to nothing for it. I thought it was like a pop of fun from that time period, which is made up of plastic and with some gold separators in between. And then I've got this beautiful agate heart-shaped pair of earrings. I'm not so sure if you can see it from this far, but I'll do a close-up of it. And also this sort of like a braided headband, which is also from that time period, which I got from my vintage store. I hope the camera is picking it up so you can see all the braiding on it. I wanted to wear a red one, but then I thought it will be fighting together with the necklace, and it has got some blue flowers print on this dress. So this is a very warm and lovely color to wear, and it's very comfortable because, as I mentioned, it's made up of cotton. Especially in our weather, it's very humid, so whenever I go out I always take that into consideration, because polyester will make you very hot and flustered, and it's a very cheap kind of a material. So I always go for breathable natural fibers. So for this dress, I have purposely left the two lapels loose because I wanted you to see how neat the details are from the 1970s. So you've got this button here, and then you have got this loose lapel as well, and you button it in, and then you run these two lapels through it. You run it through it and it actually forms a ribbon. How neat is that? So that's exactly why I love 1970s dresses. I saw it so many times in the magazines, and I feel it is such a neat and such a feminine detail. I always love the bow tie, and I'm featuring also this blue floral brooch. It's just a simple enamel brooch. I got this many years ago from my vintage shop, and I never actually featured it. And it takes time because on my channel I like to not only show the accessories, but I love to show how I style them as well. And because I really am partial to that time period, I'm also slowly adding to my vintage collection. So this is one of them that I have. This is not the original belt. Unfortunately, when you're collecting vintage, a lot of the times the original belt gets lost. And this one has got sort of like a, from afar it actually looks like a peacock print, but it's actually some poppies with some, I don't know what the white background is supposed to look like. Is it supposed to be willows? I'm not so sure. So this is also a very Liberties kind of a print when I saw it on the hanger, I saw it many times. Nobody got it, and at first I thought it looks very grandmother-ish. But then I was thinking this is a pure 1970s vintage dress. And then when I tried it on, so sometimes when it just hangs on a hanger, it doesn't look good, but you need to try it on, and then surprisingly, it's looking very, very lovely. So for this last look, I'm featuring this blouse, which is a vintage. I love the double scalloped collar, as well as the scalloped sleeves. I think this is the kind of details that are lost in modern clothing. It's so ultra feminine. Imagine having a scalloped collar, and not only that, it's a double scalloped collar. It is very sheer, so I've had to wear like a camisole underneath of this blouse, so that makes it even more feminine, very soft and airy. And I matched it together with this modern A-line caramel colored skirt. I'm featuring this brooch which I got from my vintage store. I'm not so sure if it's a carnelian or a jasper, some sort of a semi-precious stone with some feathers and some dangly bits of diamante. So this is also from the 1970s period, and where the semi-precious stones were very, very much used in the 1970s period, and they were very much into crystals, and then people forgot all about it until our modern era. And I hope that you have enjoyed looking at all these pieces of vintage treasures that I found. If you like this kind of videos, please give it a thumbs up and check out my playlist on my other videos where I'm showcasing vintage fashion as well as my jewelry. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video.